And today I'm actually here alone. My wife Sarah is usually with me when we do this recordings, but I'll manage, I think. Anyway, so what we're gonna work on today is anger emotion, how to work with emotion of anger using a tool called EFT, emotional freedom techniques. And I would just like to start to talk a little bit about anger as a concept, right? So we're gonna talk a little bit about anger as a concept, but also how we can work with it on a practical level to integrate it. So it's more than simply talking about it from an intellectual point of view, that we can actually connect what we're feeling in our body and start to release some of that heaviness that we can feel from anger when it comes up and it grabs a hold of us. So if you just look at it from an evolutionary purpose or aspect, anger has to do with being able to fight off something that's threatening us, either immediate or in the future, or threatening someone else. So it has to do with safety, right? If you look at the autonomic nervous system, maybe sitting right now and watching the video, everything feels fine. And for some reason the fire alarm goes off and there is a big fire somewhere and you feel smoke, right? You're not going to feel safe, probably, right? Something's going to come up. We can't really fight a fire. Maybe we can use a fire hose or a fire extinguisher, but the first aspect is probably going to be that we try to flee away from it, right? If we can't do either, if we can't fight off whatever is threatening us, or if we can't flee away from it, our body's going to go up to the next level, which is it's going to start to dissociate. It's going to start to release opioids to numb us, to not having to handle that intense emotion that can come across if something is threatening us, if we start to get burned or something happens to us that physically harms us. But what the anger does is you start to come in and you want to fight something off. You want to fight something else that's threatening you, either physically, emotionally, or mentally, right? And your body's going to start to release adrenaline, and your heart rate's going to go up. You're going to feel the blood going to the big muscles. You're going to breathe differently. Pupils dilate. You're ready to fight for your life, essentially. And many times when we grow up in many cultures, at least the ones that I know of and familiar with, anger is not usually something that's celebrated and expressed happily, maybe in sporting environments, but not in general. So what happens many times is when we express anger as a child, it can get suppressed because we many times don't want people to be angry or start to fight with others, right? So when we grow up and we have anger suppressed, all of a sudden that can create a disconnect in us, because every time I'm feeling angry now, I might feel shame or guilt. I'm ruining it for someone else. Oh, I'm not supposed to do this. I know it's bad and it's creating everyone else discomfort or not feeling good, or I've done something wrong. That's why I'm feeling this way. Whereas anger is a perfectly natural emotion that comes up for the reasons I just mentioned. So I like to use this conceptual idea to as a base, so we can understand that it's natural to have anger. It's natural to work with it. When we use EFT or any other releasing techniques that I'm familiar with, like Sedona method and such, we usually look at it from three ways, right? We can suppress the emotion when it comes up. And suppress the emotion in this case would be that we try to flee away. We try to not engage it, not address it, do something else. We evade it. We talk about something else. We physically leave the situation, or just tense up our body and just take it. We just take it and we don't do anything about it. Number two is that we fight it off. We start to be argumentative with a person, or we engage the person or the threat that happens, and that would be expressing the emotion more. Now, when we express the emotion, at least we're moving the energy, but it's not really beneficial in the long term, right? Because it's like a game of tennis. If I send you something and I'm angry, you're going to probably be angry and send me something back, and that never ends. And then you go to the next person. So it kind of just goes around. It doesn't really leave anyone. It can be used, as I mentioned, in sporting environments or for physical performances and such, that we channel anger into that because it's socially acceptable and we can make a living and become good at a skill or such. But when we fuel something from anger, it's usually not sustainable, and it leads to not listening to body, and we're pushing harder than we're supposed to do. So we can wind up injuring ourselves because the body actually wanted to rest, but we were like, no, I really want to do this, and I'm mind over matter. I'm just going to power through this. So what we can do is the third option that we're going to work on today with EFT, and that's actually releasing the emotion. And that happens in 3 steps or 3 layers when we work with EFT. Number 1 is that we allow ourselves to feel the emotion. Fully allow ourselves to feel the emotion. We accept that we're feeling the emotion, and then we can start to release. So when we allow ourselves to feel emotion, as we're tapping using EFT, that stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, we're calming down the amygdala, the fear scanning part of the brain. This means, as we're tapping, whatever we might say could be a phrase that could be upsetting us. Like if I feel angry about racism or being treated differently because of my skin color, religion, or for whatever reason, maybe just talking about it, I can notice feeling sweaty, or you're talking faster, or if it's animal cruelty, or whatever the aspect is that makes you angry, it doesn't really matter, because anger is still anger, right? But just talking about it can make people angry. So as we say certain phrases and tap on this meridian, energy meridian, that we take from acupressure and traditional Chinese medicine, we're actually exposing ourselves to the thing that's making us angry. And we're calming our system down as we're doing so. And that way we can start to allow ourselves to feel the emotion, but still relax. We can start to accept that we feel emotion. And from there, it will usually starts to release on its own. So find a nice comfortable position where you can sit and be undisturbed for the next 5 to 8 minutes or so. And if we imagine a scale of 1 to 10 of distress or discomfort that any given aspect might affect you with, let's find something that's a level 4. Let's say I'm really angry when people speak loud and don't take into consideration other people's day, or that they want to have it a little bit more quiet, or you interrupt other people's peace. And maybe that's a level 4 for me, right? I'm feeling a little bit agitated about it, but I can still manage it, but it's starting to get there. And 10 is when I can't manage it at all. I'm just full on. I have to stand up for myself, or I have to run away from the situation. Let's find something that makes you angry to level 4 or thereabouts, and bring it up to mind, wherever it might be. And we're not going to analyze it or try to reason with it. We're simply going to bring it up in the forefront of our experience right here, right now, as best as we can. Maybe feel where it goes physically in the body. Maybe affects our breathing. Maybe start to tense up our jaws, or sweat, or clench our fists. So really feel that aspect. And then what we're going to do is going to close our hand from here. We're going to use 4 fingers, and we're going to start to tap on the side of the hand. And you want to tap firmly, not hard, but you're going to feel like you're almost like you're knocking on your hand. Take a breath. And then you can repeat these words after me if it feels okay, either out loud or silent in your head. This topic really makes me angry. I read all there is to know about it. I analyzed it all, but it still makes me really angry. And I accept that this is the way that I feel. And I accept myself just the way I am. All this anger that I feel over this topic, this person, the situation, it's really annoying sometimes. and my life will be so much better without it. I accept that this is the way that I feel, and I accept myself anyways. All the sensations in my body, all this pain and stiffness in my body, all this anger that I feel related to all of the sensations in my body. It's okay to feel this way, and I accept myself just the way I am. Now we're going to use 2 fingers and come up to the inside of the eyebrow. All of this anger I feel right now. Side of eye. Feeling so angry about this topic right now. Under your eye. I really wish I wouldn't feel so angry about it, but it's impossible. Under your nose. I'm ready to let it go. I accept this anger and all of this feeling so I can be ready to start to let it go. Down on your chest. I allow myself to feel angry. Maybe it wasn't safe to feel angry in the past, but right now, right here, it's safe to feel angry, and allow myself to feel it completely. On the arm. It's safe to feel this way, and it's safe to still feel relaxed in my body. Top of it. I can feel angry without having to express it or direct it towards other people. Down to your eyebrow. It's okay to feel angry and relax my body anyways. Side of eye. It's safe to feel angry and under eye. And it's safe to relax now. Under your nose. All of this anger, all of the sensations. On your shin. I'm ready to feel it all, and I'm ready to start letting it go. On your chest. Because I choose to feel better now. And I choose to move forward in my life with less anger so that I can feel better, calmer, and more relaxed. Underarm. And I choose to release this anger now. I choose to feel safe enough to let this anger go. Top of that. And I accept myself with or without my anger, just the way I am. And then we can shake our hands off a little bit. Take a sip of water if you have something close by. And we can check in again. How does the same aspect that you were tapping on feel now? Or person, or topic, or interaction with someone else? From a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the most angry you can feel or most upset right now, and 1 is nothing. Has that number changed anywhere, up or down? Any shift means that something has happened, even if you're feeling more angry, because we're allowing ourselves to go into it. Sometimes we feel more, or actually not feel more, we actually feel how angry we are before we can start to go down and let it go. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel at livingwiththespirit.com, or on YouTube, Living with the Spirit. And you can also write us at sarah@livingwiththespirit.com. And from there, we can book a free discovery call if you want to know more about how you can particularly work with anger in your life, or how you can address it in a way maybe differently from what you're doing today, or if you have any other aspects that you would like to work on. And you can also drop a comment here in the field, and we will respond as fast as we see this. So thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.